Audience, you ready to pay attention again? All right, when I say go. Ready, set.
I'm HubertLalanne,
And I'm Jacob Hubert.
and we're doing obesity in Mexico. Mexico has a large problem that will continue to worsen if nothing is done.
That problem is obesity. We will go over the numerous causes of obesity with a few solutions for this enormous problem.
More than 27,000 people will be murdered this year in Mexico. All those murders will be due to drug and gang-related violence. But Mexico's biggest killer has nothing to do with drugs or gangs. And that killer
Is diabetes. Diabetes will kill more than 100,000 people this year in Mexico alone. That's 40% higher than it was in 2008. And that number is only increasing. Not only that, but another 400,000 will be diagnosed in Mexico this year. And primary cause of diabetes is
obesity. Obesity is a growing problem not only in Mexico, but worldwide. The global obesity rate has climbed massively in recent years, growing more than 100% since 1980. Going from a mere 6.5% obesity rate up to a whopping 13.8%. And in Mexico, that number has reached an astonishing
32.8%. That is 3 times higher than the world average, making Mexico, as of this year, the fattest country in the world, passing up the United States with a 31.8% obesity rate. This is due to large soda consumption, lack of exercise, child-centered marketing, and poor diet in general.
In terms of diet for traditional Mexican food, it's never been healthy. A typical Mexican dish consists of a corn or flour tortilla fried in lard, along with meat, again, fried in its own grease. And though it tastes good, it's incredibly fattening and unhealthy.
Now think back to the last time you had Mexican food. Odds are you probably didn't finish it because Mexican food is often served in large quantities. The enchilada in that picture is over 230 feet long, making it the largest enchilada ever created, and it was served in Mexico City, somewhere where it should be promoting cutting down on serving size.
Now, children in Mexico are also getting hit very hard with the obesity epidemic. Their diets consist primarily of fast food and other food that's relatively unhealthy and inexpensive, because lots of mothers face extreme difficulty feeding both themselves and their children. This means that they have to turn to cheap and unhealthy food.
Many analysts also suspect that U.S. is partially to blame. As the U.S. floods cities with processed foods, they give cheap and unhealthy alternatives to traditional food. That means that for those struggling financially, it seems like a no-brainer.
Many researchers say that soda is mostly to blame for the high rates of obesity. Mexico consumes significantly more soda than any other country in the world. The average Mexican citizen will consume about 728 servings of soda per year. That's about 2 cups a day. Other countries like Chile, the second highest soda consumer in the world, don't even come close.
There are lots of factors that contribute to their incredible consumption rates. First off is the cost. Soda is 1/3 the price of milk. And you're probably thinking, why don't they just use water? And that seems like a logical solution. But water in Mexico is often poor quality and leads to diseases.
Now, everyone knows that soda isn't good for you, but it may be worse than you think. Studies have shown that if someone drinks just 1 cup of soda per day for 6 months, they will receive a 221% increase in skeletal fat and an 11% cholesterol increase. And the average Mexican citizen consumes twice as much.
There's more diabetes, and children are again the target of the frugal companies in their advertising campaigns. They use cute and cuddly cartoons to attract their sugary drinks. Children who drink soda regularly are more likely to become obese at a young age, and 8 out of 10 children are obese will stay obese for the rest of their life.
From an economic perspective, Mexico's obesity is directly linked to its high poverty rates. Mexico has one of the highest poverty rates worldwide at a whopping 45.5%. The average income per household in Mexico is just $12,850, yet the U.S. is over $42,000.
Fast food is also a growing industry, becoming a critical part of the culture in Mexico. The fast food industry offers convenience at low pricing, two factors that are very appealing to those with low incomes, and their advertising dominates cities in Mexico.
And as Mexico's infrastructure improves, big cities with bigger opportunities begin to emerge. This takes people away from traditional jobs on the ranch into big cities, doing jobs that require sitting at a desk. This means that instead of roping at the rodeo, they're typing in the town.
A study shows that 68% of people in Mexico do not meet the physical activity recommendation of at least 150 minutes per week. The most common barrier is lack of time or too tired. An easy explanation for this is that they're too busy working at low-paid jobs in order to pay for their entire family.
Now, to compensate for the large numbers of obese individuals, Mexico's government is offering a free gastric bypass surgery to those who qualify. And what happens in a gastric bypass surgery is they basically inflate your stomach with a balloon so that you feel full, which means that recipients of the surgery feel less need to eat, and the results are incredible.
The surgery is a great fix for current obese people, but in order to prevent future obesity, the government is imposing a tax on soda in order to decrease its popularity among the poor. However, the fear of a soda black market is a prevalent problem. We feel that both the surgery and tax on soda will be very effective.
Now, Mexico's problems are as big as its people.
They keep pouring on the pounds through soda and other sweet beverages.
Fat has found a new frontier in Mexico, and the only way to stop, and they need to stop stuffing themselves
And get their stuff together.
Alright, Evan, tell me about the process for research between the two of you. What strategies did you use to research, and were they effective?
Well, we basically started out by doing a broad search of our topic, and then found, lots of news sources that gave a lot of the things that we said were the similar problems that they all brought up, and then once we found those problems, we broke them down and researched them individually.
And was that effective for you?
Yes, that worked well.
Jacob, tell me a little bit more about the solution. So the Mexican government has already instituted both of these things. How well are they working right now, and do you see that continuing?
Well, we think that both the soda tax and the surgery are both working right now, but they need to have more taxes on fatty foods, and kind of how we think maybe how slow does no fast foods. You need to start cutting down on drive-ins and just to minimize the amount of how what the easy how easy it is to access accessibility.
Okay.
That's the word.
Thank you.